Hi everybody, Dacob here. Welcome back to the Fashion Bunker. I'm going to read a comment by Troy today. Troy Smith. How you doing, Troy, sweetie? I wrote you in the comment section already that I'm going to read this comment, and I am going to read this comment, and I think everybody, you know, I never stress enough to repeat this. My channel and our community here in the Fashion Bunker community, we literally have the best exchange of comments, of ideas, of thoughts, of thought process. Sorry, guys. I'm still recuperating from my cold. It's such a pain in the butt. That's why I have a little bit of lack of energy, but I'm there in spirit. Just physically, I'm not fully there yet. Anyway, so bear with me, please, guys. So what was I saying? Okay, so the comments that are in the comment section are always so amazing. And of course, not everybody reads through all the comments. And I think like kind of to bring them up even more higher into the surface where we could all get to share them in a video is really important to me. And I think the sort of interaction is super important for us because it makes us grow better and more and even quicker in a way. Because it enriches us, you know, there's an interaction going on. It's not just me monologuing all the time, but I'm actually literally interacting with you guys all the time. Okay, so this is what Troy Smith says. I love many parts of aging, but I say that of all ages I've been. I immediately unsubscribe from a fragrance channel when I hear the phrase old man or old lady used to describe a fragrance. Younger, experienced vloggers like you have... Thank you. I mean, I don't... Well, anyway, thank you. But, you know, compliments always I blush. Like you have much to teach me. But reviewers who use old man to describe a fragrance reveal one of two things to me. One, history is in no way valuable to them, which means they likely are shallow fragrance lovers who will get stuck in one era of their own fragrance appreciation as they declare everything else to be inferior, which is ridiculous. Two, old man is always used as a pejorative. I grew up wanting to smell like my dad and my grandfather and trying on their scents. It makes me sad to think that later generations of fragrance creators and appreciators see the past as something uninformed and dead. This is very fascinating. And Troy, I totally agree with you. And this is something that we are all allowed to say, independently from our age. You could be 15 years old, 10 years old, if you already have the conscience necessary to talk about these topics. You could be, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, whatever years old. I always found it, since I was a kid, I always found it very rude to talk about a fragrance, but many things in terms of age, like smells like something old, What is old? Like smells like old woman, smells like old man. I totally agree with you, Troy. It's such a limiting thing. And it shows us a lot about the person that actually says it. Old. And it's funny because you never say, oh, this smells young. You're usually going to say this smells fresh. And so the opposite of that is going to be old. And that's very, very, think about it, guys. Like, change your lexicon, change your vocabulary, change your dictionary. Have some respect. And don't forget, guys, you little trolls out there, little creatures that love to criticize every fucking thing that you can find just because you really want to grab some attention. Well, you ain't getting it here. But you will be, if you live that long, you will be elderly one day too. None of us, not one single person of us is going to live forever. We are all going to die one day. young, old, middle-aged, whatever. But there's going to be an end to each and every one of our lives. If you're lucky enough to live a healthy, prosperous life into an advanced age, then you could really consider yourself lucky, because you will be collecting wisdom, you will be collecting so many stories along the way, so many memories along the way, knowledge. It's a privilege to age. It's not a burden. It's only a burden in some respects because of certain, perhaps, health issues. But guess what? You got health issues when you're young too. A lot of people are suffering like crazy already in their youth. A lot of people die of horrible diseases when they're extremely young, babies even. You never know. You know, life is not a given. It's there as long as it's there, but it could be gone in a fraction of a second. It could disappear. Showing lack of respect for a human being that has been on this earth longer than you have just shows how stupid you are, how limited you are, how less than nothing you have understood about life in general. Some societies out there have huge respect for the elderly, as it should be. Some societies have a very weird approach to survival and instinct, so that when they reach a certain age, they kind of go into nature and then to freeze, to kill themselves, like to die. That's a very sorry, I got my nose. That's a very kind of intense opposite, but it does happen as well. In our society, however, in this kind of capitalist society where you gotta work your 60 to 70 to 80 years in order to get a pension, you know, you have worked your ass off. You have been paying contributions your whole life in that pot that ultimately feeds the people that are now in pension, that are now retired. To ultimately kind of, once you're done working, once you've spat all your blood, all your energy, youthfulness, your soul, to whoever gave you the job, but also to the government because you're paying all the taxes and everything. Once you're done with that, actually, the government is super happy if you just croak. Just croak right after you're done working. So they won't owe you any pension, any retirement funds, nothing, you know. All that money that you've been paying, actually, putting aside your whole life, you're going to lose all that. Of course, if you're married, you know, your husband or your wife or whatever is going to get a part of it. But it's like you're vital to the system as long as you're youthful, as long as they could milk you, use you. And once you're not of use to them anymore, they literally wish to get rid of you as soon as possible. And that's the sad part, because they are other human beings that will also become useless to this sort of sick society one day. And instead of sticking together and helping each other out, what we're doing is we're kind of like taught from very early on to just kind of kick each other in the asses and disrespect each other and think, you know, I'm better than you, I deserve more than you, I need better than you, I'm younger than you, or I'm older than you, but I have more power than you, so I have the rights to do certain things that you don't, and yada yada. This has got to change, and it changes with little things. Changes happen one step at a time. And as Troy mentioned, his way of changing things is, you know, something as simple as a perfume review, or, you know, a YouTuber that talks in terms of this fragrance smells like old lady, or like old man. Unsubscribing to that channel is a gesture. It's willingness to change things. It's like showing to the world, no, this is wrong. Re-educate, you know, reprogram your way of thinking, and then maybe we can talk again. So it begins with these little things. I totally agree. I would do the same, and that's why I'm making also this video, to make a point on always show respect to who you have in front of you. You know, here's one of the secrets I will share with you from my past. This is a funny one. So I was on a date, and this was a couple of years ago. And I'm not going to make any names, but if you're watching, you know who you are. And it was ridiculous because so we ended up in bed, and at a certain point, and there was a 5-year difference in age. So not a major difference. Both, of course, of age, obviously, but both legal, obviously. But so we were in bed, and at a certain point, this person turns to me, smiling, all happy, it's all happening, and says, you should be lucky that I'm here right now, so younger than you, with you. Well, that second, it was over for me. I mean, so I just said, I should be so lucky. Yes, I am lucky. I would like to thank you for letting me know now who you really are. So you can dress yourself, your young self, and leave. You have saved me a lot of time, because I was actually, I actually liked you when you first arrived, and now that's done. We're done. So yes, I am thankful for you saving me time. We could have spent the whole night together. We could have had breakfast the next morning. We could have gone stroll in the park together. We could have started getting to know each other more, and to discover the side of you 1 month later would have been more painful. So I do consider myself lucky that I could tell you to leave. So this person was shocked. They took it for granted that, of course, I'm supposed to be grateful because they're younger. Makes no sense to me. I'm like, makes no sense to me. Really, no sense to me. We had the same texture of skin. We had the same, there's no decay. There's no, actually, I'm the one who's more advanced because I had a couple of tricks up my sleeve that, I was ready to share. But that, of course, did not happen because I need some time to open up to a person in order to share certain things. So there you have it. I mean, it has happened to all of us, like this weird kind of aspect of age shaming, if you wish, in all facets of life. It just has to stop. It's ridiculous, and it's useless, it's degrading. Ultimately, you have to be strong when somebody kind of says it to you, but it's degrading ultimately to the perpetrator, to the person that actually tells you, this and that, like, oh, you're older, or blah, blah, blah. It's shame. It's embarrassing for them, if anything. And I do believe that it is our duty, if we do receive that sort of critique from this type of person, it is our duty and responsibility to let them know that what they're saying is wrong. So good for you, Troy, and good for all of you guys who, not willing to kind of just like passively take it, because it really, there is no reason for it to exist, this sort of shaming. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, please do thumb it up. Let me know what you think about this topic in the comment section down below. And if you haven't already but do wish to, please subscribe to my channel here on YouTube. I'm also on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Thank you guys so much for watching. No matter how old or young we are, we never give up on love, because love is ageless. Thank you. Bye. Love you. See you soon.